Hello everybody, welcome to Dragon's Prophet. Now before I begin, this is the closed beta of the game. This is actually the last day of the closed beta, which means this game is extremely incomplete. So don't take what you see here as gold. There are lots of placeholder things, lots of missing things. It's the nature of the game. Alright, so what is Dragon's Prophet? Dragon's Prophet is actually an MMO. It is an upcoming action-oriented MMO. So, what makes it different? Well, as you might guess by looking at the name, dragons. You see that guy? He's riding a dragon. Looks kind of like an armadillo, but it's a dragon. This game is rife with dragons. So let's begin. I am actually playing an Oracle right now, which is kind of a defensive magic wielding class that uses a scythe, which is awesome. Even though in open beta, which we'll have more information on that later in the video, I'm going to be playing the sorcerer type of class, because it's just fun to me, but this is actually quite enjoyable. So, as you can see, they have a pretty cool font for their damage numbers, first of all, but second of all, we're looking at a a action-based combat system. I can move all around, I'm encouraged to do so. Not hitting things means that you don't damage them. It's as simple as that. And just like, it actually reminds me, even interface-wise, a lot of Terra and Raiders. And that's fine, because those games work very well with their combat. However, we're talking about dragons, so... Dragons! Dragons! Yeah, you can capture dragons. You can summon up dragons, you can even ride the dragons. This is called a Greedy Omen dragon. And I'm gonna ride it around because I'm just that cool. So I've got about 1 million quests to do, as you can see. And let's start with the questing system of this game. Now, this is something that might turn people off. This is an extremely traditional WoW-style questing system, I guess you would call it. That is, you know, go here and kill 10 of these, go here and collect 8 of these. Now, I will make the same argument I made with my Raiders video, in that if the combat is enjoyable, quests that ask you to kill things are fine. And I've got to say the combat is actually a lot of fun, especially with the ranger type class. This scythe is fun, and the... oh, we got a party there. And the sorcerer type of class is awesome. And I've got to say that even the sort of a standard brawler class is quite fun. So let's talk about the combat. The combat is heavily combo based, and that's something that's quite unique about this game. If you think back to Terra, you know you've got combos. So let's say, you know, you'll use an attack and you can then press space to combo it together to a different attack. And this game actually has a straight combo system, like a third-person action game, like, I don't know, God of War or Darksiders. And it's actually really impressive. Now, what's the difference? Well, this is the difference. These are my skills. These are my active skills that I can put on my bar. As you can see, not actually a lot. There aren't a bunch of them. However, as you may have noticed, I was doing a lot more than this while I was attacking. Now, watch the very bottom right of my skill bar down there. The left and right click buttons. When I left click, as you can see, the skill on the right switches. So if I just right click right now, the default skill is punishment. Does that. Left click once, then right click, does a different attack. Left click twice, right click, another attack. Left click 3 times, right click, a different one. And none of those are actually on my skill list. Only punishment and bloody scythe are on there. That is because we've got this. Look at this! You have an actual combo system. These skills you can't just drag and put on your hotbar. You have to do these combos in order to access them. So, even though I'm not super high level right now, but as you can see, all of these skills give you different combos. So, unlocking a new skill actually unlocks a lot more than just that one skill. It unlocks all kinds of cool combos. Airship? Oh. But right, let's say this, for instance. I could do this, and then this, and then this. That's awesome! And it's really satisfying to go through and do all these awesome attacks. It's really cool, and I really like the combo system of this game. Like I said, it's really satisfying with all of the classes. There are 4 classes, but there's lots of abilities and combos for each one. And they all work fairly differently, and that they're all actually meant to be heavy damage dealers, but have various advantages and disadvantages in different playstyles. Now, the way the dragons work is you can summon them up and they'll fight for you. They have various passives and actives that they can use in battle. As you saw, this one has a skill called Life Reflux that can heal me, and it can also breathe, I think it can breathe fire onto enemies. Yeah, like that. See, it set them on fire. And another thing you can see is these actually also act like mounts. So they act like pets, and that you can summon them and they'll fight for you, and they act like mounts, and then I can just summon it up, press tab, and start riding it. And while riding, they'll also have various active abilities. This is a gliding dragon, which means it can glide, like that. It can't fly, but it can glide. There are land dragons, which are just fast and quite furious. There are flying dragons that can fly, and there are even aquatic dragons that can swim very quickly. And it will be necessary in some areas of the game, like say some aquatic dungeons and things, to actually capture one of those. So this is a flying dragon right here. These Duskscale dragons are quite something. But unfortunately, I can't capture it. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if just in this beta they're not allowing you to capture them right now, or because I don't think they're uncapturable types of dragons. Almost all of the different sorts that you can come across, you can actually do something with. And as a result of basically every class being a pet class, this game is very solo friendly. I actually have went through one dungeon myself already, and the dungeons actually have different difficulty settings, so they basically have a setting that's like, hey, you can solo this with a good dragon and some good gear, or you can really pump up the difficulty and make it quite hard for yourself. And it's actually pretty awesome. I really like it. The dragon system is really, really, really compelling to me. For the simple reason that I love collection type systems. I mean, I'm the guy that loves blue mages from Final Fantasy XI and things like that. I mean, it's Pokemon. It really is. You go and collect these dragons, and you go and capture them, and I'd like to show you the dragon capturing minigame, actually, but I don't think I can capture it, because these around here aren't capturable. But if I just go to this really quick, you can see. This is my one dragon that I have right now, and it's got stats and abilities and everything. I mean, the dragon system is very fleshed out. It's actually just as fleshed out as the character progression system. So, it's got these passives right here. Hunting and ore knowledge. So, logging, mining, hunting, all this stuff I can send it to do, and it will be more effective at it. And it also has this fiery hunting, which will allow it to breathe fire on dudes, and life reflux to heal me and itself. So, it's got its own set of attributes, all this stuff. It's kind of amazing. And, I really, really like this system. You can kit them out, it looks like. There's probably, like, saddles and armor you can give them. And, I don't have the layer right now, but eventually you can actually look at these things and you can send them on trips and actually have them go get, like, say if you're an alchemist, you can have it go find reagents for you. Or if you're a blacksmith, you can go have it mine some ore for you. And, like, find stuff like that. And you can send them on training trips to level them up and make them better, and you can mess with their stats, and basically, the things that you can normally do with your own character, you can do with the dragons. That's amazing to me. They've added a bunch of stuff. And in the terms, I mean, of dragons being as important as your character. That's different, and that's pretty cool. The definition of dragons in this game is fairly loose. Whoops. That's not a dragon. Meaning that what you normally think of as a dragon, as in like a big reptilian thing with wings that breathes fire, that's not this game's standard definition of a dragon. There are lots of different things in this world. This world is made by dragons, and it's is revolving around dragons. Your characters, the Osira as you're called, are essentially descendants of dragons. No, you can't shout dudes off of cliffs, but you can tame and train these various types of dragons. I mean, look at this thing. This doesn't really look like, never mind, what you would consider a dragon, you know, like a reptilian beast. It looks kind of like a plant. And that's another cool aspect of this game. There's tons of variety. They're claiming right now over 300 kinds of dragons. And that's awesome. There's a forlorn dusk scale dragon over there. And that one right there is, let's see, I've seen a couple other kinds than forlorn. Landing dusk scale dragon. I mean, it's a loot system based on dragons. How cool is that? I mean, it's really neat to me. And the fact that you can just go around and collect all these guys, essentially, and form your own team is really cool. And here's another thing. There are these things called dragon soul skills. And when you actually train and tame a dragon, when you capture one, it will give you skills. Now, let's see, those sort of armadillo-looking guys can actually give you the skill to taunt people and things like that. So, the thing is, training dragons is actually a part of your character build. Think of talents in World of Warcraft. Well, you're gonna get all kinds of passives and actives and things from capturing dragons in this. So, what kind of character you want is as important as what gear you have and what dragons you have active in your stable. That's really cool. It's very compelling. So I've got to say, even though the questing system is very par for the course for an MMO right now, there's definitely some room for that to get better. And the dragon system and the combat system more, in my opinion, than makes up for that. Very cool. Alright. So, let's talk about the beta right now. This is the last day of closed beta. They are closing it down after today. Actually, I think the 24th. They're closing it down the 24th after that. And they're opening it up 29th for VIPs and the 30th for open beta. That means everyone can join. So I will be posting 2 links in the description below this video. One to the US version of the Dragon's Prophet site and one to the EU version. So, in those territories, if, you know, whichever one you're in, this dragon's doing, like, some sort of dance, you can go and join in. And I would very highly recommend you do so. Yes, it's rough around the edges, but open beta is going to be even more improved over what it is now, and it's starting very soon. The 30th, you can expect to have some lovely open beta fun. And, it's going to be very much iterative, I feel, the questing system is on what's already there. And the combat system, however, that's just awesome. And I feel like they're focusing on this dragon training collection aspect as a selling point to the game. And I think that if they keep going like they are, it's going to drag very well. So, right now this is only a very basic look at the game because it's so early, but if you're like me, you're seeing a lot of potential here. One thing I can't show you, unfortunately, is the housing system, and that is amazing. There are floating islands that are instances that you can go to, and on those islands, you can purchase plots of land of different sizes. You can then find, build, and purchase different kinds of houses and build one yourself on the plot of land. You can then find, make, craft as in, and purchase furniture and deck out your house. And you actually own that house on that island, and it's as simple as that. It's actually amazing. The islands are beautiful, in my opinion. They look very cool. And, the houses and things themselves are quite varied. I've seen small little huts, I've seen massive wood houses, I've seen big stone towers, I've seen castles. You can actually own a castle and be the leader of an island. There is open PvP that you can do on these islands that actually allow you to take control and be the mayor of an island and thus own it. So right now I'm going to capture a dragon. And as you can see, this doesn't look like your normal dragon. This is a land dragon. what you've got to do is tap your keyboard to keep this red symbol as close to the middle as you can. And there! This dragon is now mine. And I learn a skill called Dragon Print. Dragon Print Delay. I'm not sure what that is. I've seen one called Dragon Tornado, and that sounds like the coolest shit in the world, so I kind of want that one. But, so yeah, now I have 2 dragons in my stable. So let's summon this guy up. And, now he'll fight with me. So let's just go ahead and blow up a boar or 2 really quick. These guys are big and quite tanky. They'll actually pull aggro for you, and they act as tanks of the party, essentially. And that brings me to another point, and that is the class system. As I mentioned, there are only 4 classes. However, they are all heavy damage dealers and quite fast. And you're not getting your tank, DPS, and healer trinity. And I think that is another thing that has to do with dragons. Maybe if you're building a fairly glass cannon type of character, you're going to want one of these guys, you know, a tanky dragon. And that brings me to the point that the dragons are going to be factored in as parts of the party. So you're not having tanky, DPS-y, if that's a word, or healy, characters. You're getting kind of jack-of-all-trades characters that can do all kinds of cool things, and various sorts of dragons that make the difference in your builds. That is kind of fascinating to me, and I hope that's the case, that the characters themselves are becoming not necessarily homogenized, not at all, that's not as fun, but they're very different in their playstyle, but they're all able to jump in the battle and do some cool stuff. But the thing that is determining, you know, how well you can do on your own, as well as tankiness, things like that, those are your dragons. That's pretty cool. So hopefully that's the case, that's what they're planning on doing. They're saying, we want a different system, you know, in order to break from the mold, as it were, of MMOs, we're not going to even consider the characters as the main point of progression. It's going to be the dragons that you capture. That's fascinating. So, we'll see how that works out for them, and I really hope that they have good luck with that, because so far it's a lot of fun. So really quick, if I just check this guy out, he's got some cool stuff. I've got different masteries for him, so actually if I was to send this guy on a quest to get me some materials for crafting, he could actually do it very well for me. He's also got Current Strike, which, let's see, that is a combat skill that he can use. Looks like a stun, so he can actually stun people for me. As you can see, it actually has a level and an XP bar. Your dragons are just as progressive as you are. That's really cool. Ooh, that's very neat. Let's do that. A slow and an AoE damage. Cool. Yeah, I'm definitely using that. So I can only use that while he's summoned, obviously, because it uses him. So let's summon him up and use it. Ow, ow, ow. Do not have enough Dragon Soul. Is that orange bar down there, I suppose? Something I have to build up? Do it! Awesome. Oh yeah, look at that AoE. Now, that makes sense, because he's kind of tanky, and he's drawing aggro all the time. So, I get him to keep aggro for me, and then, oh wow, then everything in the area is taking damage and getting slowed, so he lasts longer. So there you go, folks. Getting the idea? I hope so. It's really cool to me. I think this game's got a lot of potential. I'm definitely looking forward to open beta and playing a mage. I'm definitely looking forward to the release and making cool homes, and just, there's a lot here to me that's different from a lot of MMOs out there right now, and that's exciting to me. Because there are a lot of MMOs that are very iterative, because MMOs are large and expensive, and you don't want to take huge risks on one, because if it fails, it closes a studio. That's just the reality of the situation. So in this case, what they're iterating on isn't the quest system necessarily, although they're saying there's going to be some cool open quests and stuff, and I have seen some Guild Wars style, you just wander into this area and stuff is going on and you can participate quests, and that's very cool. So it's not all boring WoW questing. So they're definitely improving on that as they go. But the main thing is, they're saying we want a fun, engaging combat system. So we want combos going off all over the place. We don't want you to be able to put all of your skills on your hotbar and just mash your hotbar. We want action, third-person game style combos. And they've nailed it. It's very, very satisfying, and it's extremely responsive. Like, I press buttons, abilities go off. You know, I don't get, like, strange latency issues or anything like that, and I don't have an amazingly awesome internet connection, so that's good. Right here, the battle of the farm, I have to retrieve some pumpkins. So I can just gather these pumpkins as part of the mission. And as you can see, I'm ranking D in the mission right now because I just wandered into the area. So if I start gathering some pumpkins, that little experience bar will start going up, and I'll start getting experience and money and stuff as a reward once the event is over, a lot like Guild Wars 2's hard events and things like that. So that's really very cool. They're not just doing super basic stuff. But obviously what they're focusing on is a really neat combat system with very fun combos. Ooh. And this crazy dragon training system. I mean, even the fact that you can just have him go out and gather stuff for you, that's really cool. Like, whatever profession you are, you can have various dragons going out into the field and helping you out. You can have them go out and train their abilities because they can get stronger just like you can. And what I'm really seeing here is very cool to me. I'm very excited to keep playing it, and I've been kind of burnt out on MMOs recently. So this is cool for me. I'm really happy with what they're doing, and I will be very glad to keep playing it. Yeah! I'm just taking this, like, small world boss on by myself here with my dragon friend. Just being a straight up badass. You know how it works. Okay, need to build up some AP. And we got him. There we go. And there we go. That leveled me up because I got almost a C rank in that. So I get some loot. Whoa. Some good loot. And a few other things. And I can also skin them maybe for some gems or something. Oh, some leather. Yes, you do get gems from skinning sometimes. I'm not crazy. Alright, let's dismiss you. Let's see what I got. Evanfall Kuis? I've always seen that word in like FF11 and things. It's like Chauces and things. Yeah. Got all kinds of stuff I should really be selling soon. Yeah, level up. Did I get anything for leveling? Let's see. New active skills? No. I wish I had that, but I don't yet. Did I get any new combos, though? That's the main thing. Doesn't look like it this time. Unfortunate, but hey. Also, you can dodge, and you can actually double jump from the beginning, and even do some, like, drop attacks and things like that. And it seems to me they're going for an interesting world with lots of exploration. And that's good. I love exploring. The world to me is actually quite interesting. As you can see, this is a forest. I mean, that's pretty standard, but there's some odd stuff in here. This world is shattered, and a world made by dragons, it's a bit different. Those instance islands in the sky are beautiful and have some very cool stuff. As well as the system to go into dungeons and party up and stuff like that is very quick already. So, hopefully, what we're going to be seeing is an iterative MMO in a lot of respects, but in some of the main ones that matter, as in the combat and just a few other things, they're pushing a boundary that's not been pushed before. They're putting a pet system and a mount system and everything together into something that is just as important, if not more important, than your character. That's really cool. I really like that. So, folks, Dragon's Prophet. I will put the links in the description below the video for the different regions of the game. You can sign up and have a bit of fun. And remember, the open beta begins on May 30th. Whoops. So, by then, feel free to hop on and start having some fun. I will be posting more videos of this when the open beta starts, and following it very closely because I'm actually having a good amount of fun with it. It's different enough to keep my attention, and this whole collecting dragons system is just super cool. So there you go, everyone. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.